And we are back. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3, back in the saddle once again with my Mocha 2.0 running mate, Sat E Niangi. What's going on, Sat?
What's good, the great folks of WrestleTalk? It is Wednesday. It's that time again for the horniest show of all WrestleTalk Pod YouTube channel. It is I, Sat E. The E stands for embellishment. I'm going to embellish every single thing that we saw today or yesterday. I saw it today, but you saw it yesterday because NXT's on Tuesday. I live in the UK. Don't stay past my bedtime, so I'll watch you doing working hours. Shh, don't tell my boss. But before we begin, I want to wish a happy birthday to my mother, Mama Niangi, because I still am Mama Niangi's baby boy. I used to love it when SP3 did it. But SP3, what is causing all of this?
Well, if you saw the headlines, we have new NXT Tag Team Champions on last night's show. Of course, literally moments after we ended last week's review, we heard the news that Nash Carter of
Who's that?
MSK, the
Who?
artist formerly known as Zachary Wentz, Zachary Carter was his real name, I think they said. But he unfortunately was released due to the whole scandal that we've been kind of saying without saying on the last couple of weeks of the NXT 2.0 podcast, due to this whole controversy with his ex-wife. I think believe it's ex now, Kimberly. So MSK were no longer NXT Tag Team
Who's
Champions.
MSK? As far as I'm concerned, the title's been vacant for like a week. I can't remember who the previous champions are. I don't know what you're on about, man.
I mean, to be fair, NXT never mentioned it, so
Exactly. Who are we talking about? MSK? Never heard of them. Bipolar fan reaction or, mixed reaction? Never heard of it. There was a
um,
tag team champion before the new one? Never knew that.
the marijuana smoking kids are no more of the NXT Tag Team Champions. They were only NXT Tag Team Champions for about over a week. Wesley, unfortunately, is the real victim in all of this, aka
Ah,
yes.
I know him.
You know him, right?
Oh yeah, he exists in the NXT universe. Here in kayfabe land, we acknowledge that Vacant and Wesley were tag team champion. Then Vacant got injured training in the gym, henceforth couldn't have the tag team title match. So Wesley is looking after Vacant, I think.
I would guess so. But the real point of this is that the main event last night on Championship Tuesday of NXT 2.0 was a 5-team gauntlet to determine the NXT Tag Team Champions. So we want to hear from all of you guys what you thought about this whole match, the new champions being crowned. So send in those mocha chats. You know the link is in the description. The link is in the live chat for you to enjoy. So send in those mocha chats because we want to hear from all of you of what you think about our new NXT Tag Team Champions. Pretty deadly, but let's talk about that 5-team gauntlet. It was the main event of the evening. We saw throughout the night that the teams were doing promos as well as having pep talks. We had the Creed brothers and Malcolm Bivens. They had a brief promo talking about Pretty Deadly being the attackers and them trying to kill two birds with one stone by taking out Pretty Deadly and winning the tag team titles. You had Pretty Deadly cut a promo. Yeah, boys. Yes, boy. Yes, boy. Yes, boy. Yes. The new NXT Siegfried and Roy. They cut a promo and they drew their numbers for the gauntlet. The Creed brothers drew their numbers for the gauntlet. We also heard from Brooks and Jensen. They were getting rallied up by I believe I always get them confused. It's Tatum Paxley. No, that's the other one.
No, no.
Fallon Henley. Fallon Henley. Yes.
It alike. Listen, when one of them approached Natalya, I was like, she put on makeup since the last segment. Wait, she's talking about Diamond Mine. She's the other one. Yes.
I was like, oh, that one. I had to rewind it to make sure that it
I
was
know,
Tatum Paxley.
right? She put on makeup quickly. She was starting to makeup. What's up with that? Yeah.
So The Creeds were the first ones out for the Gauntlet. The second team that drew was Legado del Fantasma. Fantasma, they came out firing using their high flying ability with a nice like dive to the outside by Wild. The Creeds get the advantage. They had applied a double ankle lock at one point on Legado del Fantasma. Mendoza hit a dope springboard drop kick at one point, and Wild followed with a 450 splash. They went for their finisher, the high low, but the Creeds pulled one out and then hit their double team spine buster and the sliding lariat, which they are slightly behind Shingo Takagi and Tomohiro Ishii, but they're getting this sliding lariat over. How do you like that?
Well, last week, Ludwig Kaiser got busted open, I think, from one of the shots in the face. So yeah, listen, they work snug. As long as you know it's not ballet, it's cool. I like them. The Creed brothers, they're one of my favorite acts in NXT 2.0, man. So yeah, I like the performance was great. I like the 450 splash. When Legado came out, I finally figured out the lyrics. The lyrics is Legado. Legado.
Boom, boom, boom.
Legado.
Boom, boom, boom.
Legado. Because I swear the CWC was chanting it. Then I went, no, they're not. They haven't got flavor like that. But Legado. Legado.
All right. Next team out was Briggs and Jensen. I literally had to fix my notes because I was calling them Brooks and Jensen for a lot of my notes because I always get that confused. It's Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs.
Yeah, so you got it right. But dude, Briggs, oh my, you know what? Yeah, usually I make fun of the guys, but I feel like they finally figured out what they wanted to be.
They had a hell of a performance here, especially that power bomb choke slam combo through the table on Brutus Creed, laid him out for much of the matchup. Julius Creed playing the babyface in peril. This was like a whole different side of the Creed brothers. Like they were selling more. They weren't like their usual dominant selves. So then you had they went for the power bomb choke slam combo in the ring on Julius. They got a two count. They then hit like a knee drop power bomb combo that Brutus breaks up for the near fall, and then Julius takes out Briggs, and then Brutus hits another sliding lariat to Jensen for the win there. I did also take note, because you know me, I love to take notes about what commentary says, and Wade Barrett says that Brooks Jensen has a lot of pent-up aggression since he can't get laid.
He brings new meaning to ruthless aggression. Yo, but for real, Jensen is like a young Bradshaw. Take it as a bad or good compliment, but he wallops. I like how he wallops because you get a lot of nowadays, you know, the wrestlers of today, you know, the wrestlers of this generation, they love to do the flippy stuff. I don't mind the flippy stuff, but I miss the days when men used to pound 7 shades into each other. And Briggs, what's his name? Briggs?
Josh Briggs, and Brooks Jensen.
Oh, they're too similar. Briggs just brings the heat in the match. I'm losing it already, guys. We're doing 10 minutes. I'm gone.
I see them correcting me in the live chat. I think I said Raul Mendoza's name wrong, or I just call him Mendoza in my notes, to be fair. So sorry if I mispronounced that in any way. But then the next team out, you had something to say?
I'm about to say the Creed brothers are Stocky Creed and Slim Creed.
Stocky Creed and Slim Creed. There we go. This is how we just.
Nah, listen, it's Julius and Brutus. I gave them the respect at the end. Yes. I actually changed my notes in the hour. You know what? They got better gear as well. They stuff generic. Yeah. You know, we'll talk about it some other time. Woo.
They literally took, like, before they had whatever was left over in the Duke wrestling inventory, whatever singlet they could find, but now they actually got legit gear with the Creed on the front, the brothers on the back. The next team out was Grayson Waller and Senga the Thunder.
No, it wasn't. It was Braun Strowman, guys. Braun Strowman made his return. You can play your eyes.
I was like saying his gear looked like a mix of Braun Strowman and the Authors of Pain. That's what it very much looked like a little bit of both in that. And yeah, legitimately, if you close your eyes, you wouldn't have told the difference. Earlier in the night, Grayson said that Senga the Thunder would basically be wrestling as he's still injured with the hurt arm from the ladder match at Stand and Deliver. But within minutes of them coming out, he shows that he was faking when he pulls off the sling. He didn't have the arm injury after all. Brutus Creed deadlifts Senga the Thunder, and then Julius hits a cartwheel deadlift slam and follows with the sliding lariat to beat them, to take them out. And then
finally, it wasn't. It was a DDT, and he somehow miraculously recovered from it. It was a DDT.
he does like a cartwheel, like he's Jack Cartwheel on the
so it was a cartwheel. It was not DDT. He's DDT'd himself.
It's like that move that Sonya Deville used to do when she used to DDT herself. Like it was like a suplex into a slam, but it just looked like she DDT'd herself. Yeah, that's pretty much what she did. But the final team, of course, was pretty deadly, and I put in my notes here, they dress and look like Siegfried and Roy now. They're legitimately just going all in on that gimmick. The Creeds, like I put in my notes here at this point, the Creeds are just showing a different side. They're doing really good at selling of exhaustion from the pain that they've had to withstand in this entire gauntlet. Pretty Deadly isolate Julius by grounding him and using double teams. Julius hits a belly to belly and tags in Brutus, but Brutus is he's just staggering all over the place. You would have thought that he had the vodka and the gin and everything as he came into the ring. Prince and Wilson hit an assisted code breaker for 2. Then the Creeds try one more final comeback. Brutus hits a headbutt and he goes for the sliding lariat, but behind the referee's back, Prince cuts him off. Pretty Deadly then hit a running net breaker double team from the heart attack position to win.
Spilled milk.
That's what it's called?
Milk. Yeah,
it's called spilled milk?
I'll put that in my notes. Spilled milk.
Spilled milk then. They hit spilled milk to win the NXT Tag Team titles. I thought that this whole gauntlet told a great story with the Creeds really showing their range as baby faces, while Pretty Deadly established themselves as the top heel tag team, get the big win in their first match on NXT 2.0, making history, winning the NXT Tag Team titles, and they are only the second team to win the NXT UK and NXT Tag Team titles, right behind Mustache Mountain, the team that beat them for the NXT UK Tag Team titles. And then post-match, we see the deflated emotions of the Creeds. You got Brutus laying down in Julius' lap, and then you see the elation of Pretty Deadly. Yes, boy, yes, boy, yes, boy, as they are the new NXT Tag Team Champions. Overall, what did you think about this whole gauntlet and the story that they told with really putting over the Creeds while establishing Pretty Deadly?
First one, someone said in the chat, where was Grizzled the Young Veteran? They would have been great in this position, especially how long they've been there. They're the only other British tag team there that have built some sort of connection with the crowd. You know what? It could be nitpicky because they could have Pretty Deadly, interrupt the match and have Grizzled the Young Veterans to win. Alas, as a first impression, the Billy and Chuck-esque tag team, they remind me of the Beverly Brothers. They remind me of Billy and Chuck. Sigmund and Freud, where is your tiger? Or where is your leopard? It was a great performance by the Creed brothers, who, I don't care what anyone says, I say that they were tweeners. They're now baby faces, even though...
They're officially baby faces now, yeah.
Diamond Mine confuses me, because Bivens does his thing, Roddy Strong is still a heel, Ivy now doesn't like anyone, but yeah, the Creed brothers, they have the connection with the CWC. They're the only act the CWC hasn't turned on yet. So yeah, it was a great performance. It was a Bret the Hitman Hart-like performance. A lot of tag team got to shine. Well, only the Creed brothers and Briggs and Jensen. My goodness, Briggs is a future main eventer if he gets away from Bull McGillicuddy, who did okay in the match, who looks like a dollar store version of a smoking gun at the moment. But yes,
he looks like the son of Bart and Billy. Like Billy and Bart decided to come together to make a child.
It's Billy Gunn before he discovered working out, if you know what I mean, guys. Before you discovered those proteins that make you strong and muscular in certain areas. But it was a really good match. It was a coming out party for the Creed brothers and also Pretty Deadly. I've never seen them wrestle before. I'm never gonna pretend I know who they are. I just discovered them last week, but their performance was good. I like the little belly top. They add heel heat. Don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna show you.
Yeah, we're the top. Like
add some mocha. Add some mocha. Yeah, add some mocha chats, and then you might get some one. I'm kidding. It was a good match. It was. Sanga the Thunder. He even given like a shout out to his boy there because they used to be part of a tag team called In the Share. It would have been great if Malcolm Bivens could say, "Hey, don't I know you?" That would have been great. But yeah, it was a good match, and I can't wait for. Well, I want the Creed brothers to be champion, so they did its job. They were so close, yet so far. Tune in next time to see the saga. Yeah, it was good.
They set up a nice little chase for the Creed brothers, really got them over as baby faces. Because like you said, they were kind of in that tweener phase where we weren't sure because Diamond Mine was introduced as heels, but slowly but surely they've kind of became baby faces. Like you got Roddy Strong. He had a great match with Ilya Dragunov on NXT UK last week for the NXT UK championship. And, Dragunov won, but that seemed like it was just a one-off thing, a one-off story for Roderick there. So we don't know if Roger Strong is going to be back on NXT 2.0 and how he's going to be presented. Ivy Nile is already getting over with the crowd in the CWC, so she can easily transition into being a babyface. But the fans were they've been invested in the Creed brothers. They kind of were cheering them against MSK in the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
MSK.
I'm not you. I'm not gonna live in this kayfabe universe where MSK doesn't invent. It doesn't exist.
I did my research. I looked at the Dusty Classic last year. It is redacted. What tag team won the Dusty Classic last year? I'm a bit worried. Redacted? Who is this team redacted?
Does it really say redacted on the website?
No.
I was about to say.
If I wanted to, I should edit it.
You're gonna do it on Wikipedia. Watch out. Check your Wikipedia after this review here, because Sat's gonna be busy. But yes, what do you think about Pretty Deadly being the NXT Tag Team Champions, and who do you think? Because I think that the Creed chase is going to be a while. I don't think that they should be the first contenders for Pretty Deadly as the tag team champions. They should kind of build it up, and they should build up a chase with them getting there. Like whether it's at Great American Bash, which I believe is going to be the next special for them coming up this summer, or they're just going to randomly pop in a roadblock or something like that. I don't know what they're going to do, but that seems like that's probably the next big special show for NXT. So who do you think is going to be next in line to prevent the Creeds from getting that opportunity?
SP3, this is the issue I have. So the chase predates Pretty Deadly. Creed's been chasing the title for a while.
Yes.
The question is not about the chase. The question is who's going to win? Vince McMahon discovering the Creed brothers, or the Creed brothers winning the NXT Tag Team titles. That's what it is. That's the real race. Because once Vince sees them, I like him. The slim one, he's going to be the main eventer. That's it. And walks off, and that's it for the tag team. But I wanted to win the title now because I feel like we've seen this story. This story's predated Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly a champion for now. Grizzled young veteran, I guess, to be the first roadblock, possibly for the Creed brothers, I guess. But I want Creed brothers to be champion already. I don't have patience for long-term storytelling.
Come on, man. You gotta enjoy your long-term storytelling. You come from the 90s where they plan things out more than a week in advance. They plan things out up until WrestleMania. So you gotta be a part of the story, get into the story. So
okay, but yeah, we all have faith in Michael Hickenbottom not to get bored halfway through and change plans on the fly. Stand and deliver was more like send back and sit your ass down.
Well, there is a lot of talent, it seems, going over from NXT UK to NXT. So we're going to talk about, there was a vignette for NXT UK talent that's going to be debuting on this other, or in a future episode of NXT 2.0. You had the continued drama between Bron Breuker and Joe Gacy. You had the North American title on the line, the Women's Championship on the line. We're going to get into all of that from this episode of NXT 2.0. But Sat, you have some Mochachats in the chamber for us to talk about. Send in your Mochachats. The link is it's right here. Let me put this up at WrestleTalk.com/support. Share your thoughts on this episode of NXT 2.0. Your thoughts on Pretty Deadly becoming the new NXT Tag Team Champions. Let us know what you think. Sound off in those Mochachats. But Sat, do you have any in the chamber for now?
At the moment, no, but I see John, one of our lovely mods, is going to put something in there. But let's start with the show. I'll check back in a moment. Thank you for asking. Back to you, SP3. Back to you.
It's like he's a meteorologist. Like it's raining. It's a storm out here.
We're getting close, guys. It's getting mocha in here.
And remember to drop those likes on this video. It helps us out so much. We want to show your support for the Mocha 2.0 duo by dropping a like, sharing it with your friends on your favorite social media platforms, and of course, subscribe if you are new to the WrestleTalk Podcast YouTube channel. But this edition of NXT, it started off with a recap of last week with Bron Breuker, everything that he went through, inducting his father and uncle into the WWE Hall of Fame, as well as losing at Stand and Deliver, and then winning on the Raw after WrestleMania, and then defeating Gunther, who no longer is with us on NXT. So we have to also bring that up because we lost a lot of talent, and it makes sense about the booking from last week that we complained about a lot with Gunther.
I didn't complain.
With Gunther versus, yes, you did. You complained about Gunther losing. Gunther.
Oh yeah, him losing. Not about Fabian potentially being with a Don, guys. Watch what I said. Listen, a lot of things I've been saying been coming to fruition.
I do say that is the best idea because Fabian Aichner, I have no faith in them booking him properly on his own. So maybe the best thing for him is joining the family, which we did see a boy Tony D with the gabagoos and yeah.
And also, I called a new tag team forming as well. I said two people that's feuding at the moment is gonna become a tag team, and look what happened to this episode. Sat E.
No, we both kind of called that because we were like they're a love quad. They were a love quad, but we're gonna get into that. But what do you think about Gunther and the artist formerly known as Marcel Barthel, now Ludwig Kaiser?
I know him.
Ludwig Kaiser debuting on SmackDown last week. What did you think about that?
I felt like it was a great debut for Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. He looks a lot like the guy that used to be in NXT. Can't remember his name. He had a French sounding name, but this one sounds more German. And he also reminds me of a Finnish wrestler. They used to hate pollution in 1993 and he used to feud with Lex Luger. He reminds me of that guy too. So I think Gunther has a good future if Vince McMahon does not get bored within the next 3 weeks.
Yes. They focused a lot on his face. Look at his face. Look at his face. He's
chiseled. He's chiseled. Yeah. Like, listen, Volta had a chubby face. Gunther's face is chiseled from stones.
These are two different people, ladies and gentlemen. We need to stop acting like they're the same person. It's not Walter. It's Gunther.
One had a family pack stomach. The other one's got abs because he's seeing Jenny every single time. Yes.
He gotta look good. He gotta look good for Jenny. She's a fashionista. He gotta look good for her. You also had the artist formerly known as Raquel Gonzalez, now Raquel Rodriguez.
I know that
on SmackDown after losing the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships last week. What did you think about her debut where she denied Los Lotharios their kiss cam moment?
I heard from a source that's what she's really like in real life. She denounces people of this similar heritage. She likes to control her narrative, and she's very right-wing about it. It's not a cross-faced chicken wing. She likes a right wing, if you know what I mean. Good for her. I mean, she's a long-term project. Is about time to go up there. I mean, look what they had her doing, winning the tag team title with a sworn enemy. So I'd rather they put her on a show that hardly anyone watches live. So yes, put her on SmackDown.
Hey, I watch SmackDown live. I
Because you get
mean,
paid for it. If
that's
you
also
believe,
true.
yeah, if
That's
you
also so
believe in
true.
what I'm saying.
That's also true. Another section for Sports Kita. Dutch Mantel, check us out after SmackDown and Rampage every week. But yes, and yeah, I think that was all of the NXT talent that showed up on SmackDown this past week. So, and we also had Tommaso Ciampa on Monday Night Raw over the week as well. I don't know. I think we might have another name that had their final appearance on this show as well.
LA, where is LA Knight? Or
I
whatever
mean,
his name is going to be.
we're gonna put the missing sign for LA Knight. Where's LA Knight? Because yeah, he's missing on both shows. Maybe he shows up on SmackDown this week, and we have to talk about that on next week's show.
And his new name will be LA. Put the A at the front, the L behind. Al Knight. Al.
No, no, doesn't have the LA Knight. It could be they could change him back to Eli Knight,
Eli Dusky.
Eli Morning. So after the recap, the show kicked off with Cameron Grimes and Solo Sikoa already in the ring for introductions for our NXT North American Championship matchup. Grimes tells Solo that his bloodline can kiss my grits. I love the way he did it. He was just so kiss
Sassy.
my grits. Yes. Head waggle. Sikoa dominates much of this bout as it goes into the commercial break. Grimes makes a comeback. He hits a nice Hurricane Rana with a spike and a German suplex for 2. Solo gains the advantage and hits a running hip attack in the corner for a 2 count. Grimes hits his moonsault fall away slam for a 2. Sikoa reverses the cave-in into a Samoan drop. That's when the crowd really started getting into this with "This is awesome" chants. Solo goes for the Uso splash, but Grimes cuts him off. However, the ref is knocked down when Solo pushes Grimes off of the top rope, and with the referee distracted, Trick Williams is back. See, Trick is not on Raw or SmackDown or with Carmelo Hayes there. He comes down, he gets Solo's attention, pulls him off the top rope. Solo takes him out with a kick and then a splash off the apron, but with that distraction, he gets into the ring and Grimes hits the cave-in to get the victory. I thought that this was a good match, but the distraction finish was kind of lame. I thought that they could have done this another way, but I guess they're protecting Solo in the loss here. Post-match, Carmelo Hayes comes out. He attacks Cameron Grimes. Solo tries to help Grimes, but Trick Williams attacks him and throws him into the ring post. Carmelo and Trick beat down Grimes, ending with a springboard clothesline by Hayes, and he raises the North American Championship to end the beatdown here. So what did you think about our opening match with Grimes and Solo, as well as the post-match with Carmelo Hayes staking his claim to get back the North American Championship?
So, Solo Sikoa, ladies and gentlemen, they will not be quiet about his bloodline. All of a sudden, we're talking about bloodline. We're talking about how he doesn't want scraps from the table. It got me thinking that if they were really behind, if they really get behind Solo Sikoa, what's stopping from Solo Sikoa being the one to end Roman Reigns' title reign? If it was a poetic justice in the world, if this story had a great ending, it would have been Solo Sikoa ending Roman Reigns' title reign, but we're not there yet. I did my notes early on. I said to myself, besides Manu, none of the Samoans are slouches in the ring. They all can go. Solo's ready for the main roster. All he needed some fine tweaking in terms of character. He's got the basic promo. He's the street champion. You know, he rolls solo. He's all alone. Yeah, he's ready for the main roster. And he's big. He's like the two Usos put together. It's like Dragon Ball Z fusion. You get the blonde hair. That's Solo Sikoa for you. Cameron Grimes got his bit of his swag back, but I also noticed the CWC all of a sudden turn on the guy because he won't talk about my daddy anymore. All of a sudden he's got his confidence back. He's a champion, got swag, but guess who's also back? The A champion. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. We all know that SP3 is a huge fan of those guys. I am too, but SP3 has been campaigning hard for them having their own commentary booth. So it's great to see the guys again. And Carmelo Hayes did a post-match promo where he said he doesn't need a championship. The championship needs him. Bars.
Bars all day. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, the Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett of NXT. I need more. I need more. I need more commentary from them. I need more promos from them. But this was nice to kind of set up Carmelo Hayes versus Cameron Grimes. That seems like that's going to be the next feud for the North American Championship. But I thought the performance by his Solo here, this was one of his biggest matches yet. I thought that he did very well there. I don't see him being the one to dethrone Roman Reigns.
I don't either. Listen, you know why I don't either? Because my patience level is lacking. I don't want to do long-term storytelling. I want Roman Reigns to lose the title either this summer or next year to The Rock. I don't want to wait another 2 years.
No, not to The Rock. No, you can't have this long ass reign and then have it. Rock is one of my favorites of all time.
Oh, sorry. I dropped the ball. I mean, sorry, The Rock was never meant to win it. He's meant to like pass the torch again.
Exactly. You saw the setup for it on Young Rock last night.
Listen, I did your show, which you dragged me out because I said Cody would win it. Now all of a sudden it seems, Sat E was right. You weren't feeling it at the time.
Well, because I don't.
AMAC, you listen to AMAC. AMAC said get him out of there, and you listen. Anyway, that's another
exactly. That wasn't me. I agree. I had agreed with that. I thought that it was more interesting for Cody to be in WWE than AEW. So of course I'm down for Cody being the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. I just have a certain way that I would get there, but I definitely don't think The Rock should be the one to end this Roman Reigns run.
I agree. Sorry for digressing, guys. This is the NXT review show. On to the next segment. Something to do with Grayson Waller and Sango the Thunder.
Yeah. Yes, we had commentary hype up the 5-man gauntlet, but they make sure not to mention the former champions, MSK, like Sat did. I'm gonna see if I could break the record for how many times I've mentioned MSK due to them not mentioning MSK.
You say random letters. My name's SAT. You're SP3. You know, QRST. I don't know, random letters.
RESPECT. Found out what it means to me. Yes, Grayson Waller and Sanga the Thunder, they cut a promo with Waller saying he can hang on the apron while Sanga takes out everybody. We also had the promo segment that I talked about earlier with Malcolm Bivens and the Creeds talking about Pretty Deadly being the attackers, and they promised to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And then we see the Creeds picking their number in the gauntlet. And then we have Bron Breuker come out for a promo segment, and he informs us that his father is home now. So we just did a whole kidnapping angle last week, ladies and gentlemen, for them to just say, oh no, he's back home. Like, what was the point?
I'll tell you the point. Someone watched an NXT review and they realized they're cooking under gas. They realized this won't make sense. Look, listen, I started my notes jumping the gun saying, oh, Rick Stein is still kidnapped. How would this work in real life? Unless Vince McMahon in kayfabe has signed some sort of waiver where anything criminal happens in the wrestling world is ignored by the authority. But he's home, guys. It's okay. Nothing to see here. He just wanted to kidnap his ring and set it on fire.
I was just over this. I didn't even want to take notes because they literally blew off the kidnapping angle with yada yada. Yeah, he's back home now, but Braun wants revenge, and Breaker challenges Gacy to come to the ring. Gacy is on the Videotron standing in front of a bonfire. Joe says it was a pleasure to meet his father last week, and he got to know Breaker better last week. Gacy shows that he has Rick Steiner's Hall of Fame ring, and Joe says that it represents all the sacrifices that Rick Steiner made for the business, all the time away from his family, everything, and Gacy throws the ring in a bonfire. But that will not be the last we hear from Joe Gacy on this show. But what did you think about Joe Gacy burning the Hall of Fame ring? Shades of when Hulk Hogan gave his Hall of Fame ring to Abyss back in TNA.
Oh gosh, I can't believe you brought that up. So basically, Joe Gacy's gone down the old Bray Wyatt route where he talks a whole lot of garble and I just zone out. But the important thing I realized, because I do 2 perspective. I like to do the devil's avocado. So this is meant to represent Joe Gacy's character development. Because up until he kidnapped Rick Steiner, he's had this facade of being a social injustice warrior who's trying to save people from themselves. He used to handshake people in the ring, be like a motivational speaker. Now he's been outright crazy, outright criminal, outright rude and vicious. He's dropping the facade. This is Joe Gacy at his most dangerous. That's what they're trying to convey, apparently.
Yeah, it's like a cross between Bray Wyatt and Raven mixed with social injustice, I guess. I guess these are all the things that they're kind of throwing out there and sticking against the wall to see what works for Joe Gacy. But I'm digging it. And I even dig it so much. I will talk about his second segment in a bit here. We get a recap of last week with Toxic Attraction winning the women's tag team titles. Mackenzie then interviews Toxic Attraction in the Toxic Lounge, and Mandy Rose says she will beat Dakota Kai tonight. And they aren't just the main attraction; they are the measuring stick. They are the brains, the beauty, the gold, and the beast. What?
I heard beast, measuring stick, and brain. Moving along swiftly.
Swiftly, get it? And we go from Toxic Attraction talking about measuring sticks and bringing out the beast to Jacket Time. Jacket Time are heading to the ring when they are attacked by Encino Man Von Wagner. Von power bombs Kushida into a dumpster or something of some kind and lays out Jiro as well. And Robert Stone then pulls up and says there will be no match tonight. We then see Bron Breuker. He's heading out, leaving the CWC, and he tells the cameraman to get out of his face as he leaves, and he pulls off in his nice little car. For a guy that's getting paid like $80,000 a year, like he has a great car.
According to Triple H, it's $250,000 a year. But quickly, I want to mention this as a Back to the Future fan. I like the little detail of Kushida. He was dressed like Martin McFly Jr. in Back to the Future 2 with the hat, by the way. That was like a nice reference, a nice little, step up for his character. I like that. Moving on swiftly.
Yeah, I mean they just bringing stuff back that he was wearing in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but this is not the Kushida I fell in love with in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He wasn't getting beat up. He wasn't getting beat up by Encino Man there.
I think Vince McMahon got beat up by someone a long time ago, and he's taking his frustrations on Japanese wrestlers. I think there's the story there. I think Inoki punked him out in the 70s, and he never forgiven him.
I mean, if you know the story about Inoki versus Bob Backlund, he's still tight about that, and he's taking it out on everybody from New Japan Pro Wrestling. But hey, Shinsuke Nakamura is going to be the first challenger for Roman Reigns. So, got to take what you can get. A soul for a soul. Von Wagner and Robert Stone are then in the ring when we come back from commercial. Stone says that we will never see Jacket Time again, and literally Ikemen Jiro comes out right after that. He says that it's Von Wagner's world and we're just living in it. Ikemen comes out and he says that he is pissed and will kick Von's ass. Then we get Von Wagner versus Ikemen Jiro. Wagner dominates, but Jiro makes a comeback and hits a senton bomb for a 2. After a distraction from Robert Stone, Wagner hits a big boot and hits his AA variant for the win. This was short to the point. It puts over Wagner once again. Then post-match, Von Wagner stares at the woman. I forgot the woman's name. What was the
Sophia Cromwell.
Sophia Cromwell, who you hear Robert Stone trying to tell him like to beat down Von Wagner or get out the ring. I don't know what he's trying to tell him, but he's so enamored with Sophia Cromwell, who then points and nods to attack Jiro, and Wagner proceeds to toss Ikemen into the crowd like he was Bam Bam Bigelow and Jiro was Spike Dudley. It was great.
Stop stealing my notes, okay? First of all, put a crooked Samoan drop, some say an AA variant. That's to put it politely. It looked like he went for Samoan drop and then he changed his mind last moment. And Bam Bam Bigelow and Spike Dudley ECW. That's on my notes. But yeah, so it's Captain Caveman's world. We're just living in it. But what I want to mention is there might have been a nugget of storytelling development. Because let's be honest, Robert Stone has been a comedy character. I also consider him one of the worst managers since Tennessee Lee, Robert Parker.
Colonel Rob Parker. Yes, he's still the worst manager ever.
He is. It's confused old man gimmick. But yeah, Robert Stone is too much of a comedy character that you can't take him seriously. And by that, Von Wagner comes across as a goofy Snitsky-like villain. And then Sophia Cromwell, because she has the keys to the monster, makes me think we may be heading for a managerial change because there can't be two people leading the charge unless she's going to wrestle. And unless she's some sort of Ronda Rousey generational talent that can pick up wrestling really quickly, I think she's going to be Von Wagner's new manager. And based on her smiling and her performance, I don't have faith in her. Her smile lacked charisma. Her pointing lacked charisma. Good luck, Sophia Cromwell. You're aesthetically pleasing, but everything else needs work.
It's all about the beauty and the booty in NXT 2.0. It's not about, showing talent or charisma for them.
Like a great comedian once said, Mike Epps, it's not your beauty, it's your booty.
Your booty, yes, indeed. You know where the line comes from. Mackenzie is then interviewing Nikkita Lyons. It looks like it's on the Lash Legend set too. It was kind of weird. Lyons says that she can make waves in the women's division, but before she can finish her speech and her rant here, Lash Legend comes out of nowhere with a pump kick and drops her over her couch seat. That made me laugh. I've been seeing the pictures of Nikkita Lyons. That was just I laughed hysterically, and Lash Legend just coming in with all the sass in the world. Like, you should be interviewing me.
All I can say is she got Pearl Harbored from the front. Because usually you get Pearl Harbored from the back. She saw it coming, and she got hit with the best pump kick I've seen since, I don't know, Sheamus won the world title or something like that. That was a good from Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, whatever kayfabe means. But yeah, he hit him, and that expression, that's a legendary GIF-like material. We should look at over and over again. I guess I don't know what you think I was going with that, but yeah, the feud continues, guys. I have no issue with it. Put him in a cage match. Give me what I want. 2 out of 3 falls. That encompasses the whole 2 hours.
Give me the American Cream, Busty Rhodes versus Yam Yam Bigelow. Give it to me, ladies and gentlemen. Give it to me. Give me Rage in a cage.
Give me Goldberg. Great Lesnar performance. I'm sorry, guys. I'm losing it again. Ultimo Wagon. I love that. Guys, in the chat, please put in your Nikkita Lyons nicknames. And if so great, I'll read them out.
Ultimo Wagon is one of my favorites. It is one of my favorites for sure.
In fact, Mochachats it. And I'll say a lot of things, guys.
There you go. If you want us to go through the nicknames for Nikkita Lyons and Lash Legend, Mochachat us $5 or more, and we will share all of our new nicknames for Nikkita Lyons and Lash Legends. Thigh Velocity is here to stay, and this feud, it's one of my favorites on NXT because it just always makes me laugh for some reason.
And that's why Michael Hickenbottom is Booker of the Year.
Hickenbottom, bottom being the operative word. Kit Wilson and Elton Prince, the new names for Pretty Deadly. They call themselves the tastiest team in NXT.
You want to taste? I give
you want to taste? You want to taste?
I want to taste.
You want to give me one of these?
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Pretty Deadly are lucky that Mocha 2.0 did not enter the tag tournament because we had, scheduling issues. We would have won the tag titles. You and I, SP3. I would have choked them out with a chokehold.
I just would have been like Grayson Waller. I'll let Sat the Thunder take care of all that.
You want some of that? You want to taste?
You want to taste? You want to taste? We got Pretty Deadly calling themselves the tastiest team in NXT. They say the Creeds have no style or je ne sais quoi. They have no je ne sais quoi. Pretty Deadly say they will make history by winning the tag team gold in their first match, and they give us a yes boy, a yes boy, yes boy.
You love it. When you come to the UK, I'll give you a yes boy too. Yes.
Yes, boy.
Yes.
We get next. Our NXT Women's Championship matchup is Mandy Rose versus Dakota Kai. Rose has the advantage early on, but Kai makes a comeback at first, hitting a crazy crossbody dive off the top rope to the floor on Rose and the rest of Toxic Attraction. Back from break, Mandy has the control again. Kai makes another comeback with a vicious double stomp to the ribs. She follows with a running boot to Rose in a seated position in the corner. Rose hits a chop block to the leg and hits a spine buster for a 2 count, but Rose is selling her right hamstring. I didn't even see when Dakota Kai attacked her hamstring, but she sold it. Dakota hits the chiropractor, but Gigi Dolan distracts the referee. Kai cuts off Jane, who tries to interfere. She grabs the NXT Women's title, but Mandy catches Dakota with a running pump knee for the victory here. Decent match, but Rose matches are somewhat getting into this like formula. It's kind of a stale formula now where I don't really believe any of the near falls up until Toxic Attraction interferes. It's like I'm waiting for Toxic Attraction to interfere. It's very reminiscent of Jeff Jarrett's runs with the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. You didn't believe anything until Planet Jarrett got involved, or even Triple H during the Reign of Terror. You didn't believe anything until Ric Flair and Evolution got involved. It's kind of getting into that type of formula where I just can't get into the matches like I used to. What about you?
I feel like the early bouts of the match, the exchanges were fluid, but there's some stumbling in the beginning. I felt like once Dakota Kai took control, the match was much better. The double foot stomp to the belly area, that was stiff. She did not hold back, and I also like that inverted backstabber that she did. But the one good move that I put a note down that Mandy Rose did, it was the inverted face buster she did when she countered Dakota Kai. That was like that was fluid. She did well in that. But like you said, they've settled on the formula. There's no way that Mandy Rose can improve as a performer if she's doing her routine in the ring. She needs to go outside of her comfort zone. If there's any justice in the world, Dakota Kai would have been the one to beat Raquel Gonzalez. That was that should have been the storybook ending of that chapter. Then Raquel went to the main roster months ago. But unfortunately, Dakota Kai is stuck in purgatory or creative purgatory where she hears voices in her head, and it's not very kind.
She hears voices in her head. They counsel me. They understand. Post-match, Wendy Chu has super soakers and sprays Toxic Attraction. So Toxic Attraction was all wet afterwards, with Chu getting the final laugh here. It was basically her version of the beer bath or the milkomania from Kurt Angle. So
this is what I wrote. Wendy Chu gushed all over Toxic Attraction and got them wet with her super soaker. She gushed all over them, man. They got very wet.
Super soak that hoe, and then they woo, chew, and then chew.
Everyone watching, please forgive us. I think people
humor off of this.
No, listen, people with great sense of humor will enjoy this. People that like complaining and moaning and don't like people having a good time are going to complain. They'll be like, "Oh, they're too jokey. They should be complaining more." We're having a great time. We like to be positive and try to see the positive in things and also laugh at the negative, because this is a fun time. If we're watching wrestling of our own free will, don't watch something you don't like. Watch something that you enjoy. And I like NXT for the wrong reasons. It's my guilty pleasure in the public. Next segment, SP3, back to you.
Super soak that off. Chu. I'm sorry. That just I got a kick out of Wendy Chu. She put that up on Twitter, and now it's stuck in my head, ladies and gentlemen.
Darn it, Wendy! Don't make it Mei Ying on you.
All right, but next, I gotta take a sip of my drink here because we have Joe Gacy. He's back in front of the bonfire.
Gosh, he's back again. How many segments are they giving this guy?
He got two this week, ladies and gentlemen, after I think 4 last week. So he's going down. He's going down slightly. But Joe Gacy cuts a promo and he says, and I quote, "We are a society that lives through social media and emotion. The world is run by the court of public opinion and not by the rule of law. The truth is what people believe and not what people know. But people don't know what they want until you give them exactly what they need. Bron Breuker can't carry the weight of this brand on his back. I'm the only one that can guide NXT. Bron Breuker is too emotional, too easy to manipulate. Look what I did to him over the course of 2 short weeks. I made him angry in one moment and helpless in the next. Braun, I can control your every move, and when I'm done, I will tear down everything in your life, except I may hang on to one thing. And then Gacy proceeds to take the Hall of Fame ring out of the fire and he places it on his finger, relishing in the pain.
No, it wasn't. He was constipated. He had a constipation face and he made the noise with.
What did you think about this promo that I think it was either about Bron Breuker or Nash Carter? I'm not too sure because he talked about social media and the court of public opinion, so I wasn't sure who this was directed at exactly. But what did you think about the promo here from Joe Gacy?
I was so knackered that went over my head, man. They were talking about vacant. Vacant was mentioned in the promo. I didn't know that. Oh, see, you guys are smart people. You guys pay attention. I see Joe Gacy. I hear white noise. I don't hear nothing. We're spending too much time on the promo that's going to make me fall asleep right now. Moving on swiftly, guys. Next. Oh, gosh, I'm not looking at you anymore. Next, SP3.
I got my eyes on you, Zach.
SP3, what are we talking about next? What's going on? What's the next?
Legado del Fantasma is having a meeting, but Tony D'Angelo comes in and says they had a bit of a misunderstanding last week. Tony D, he says, if things don't go the way they want this week, so here's a little something for you. He's got an envelope that may or may not have a whole bunch of money inside. Escobar looks inside and puts the envelope back in Tony D's jacket and says he doesn't need that, and taps him and walks away. So what did you think about this latest exchange between the two families, the Mexican family versus the Italian family?
There isn't an Italian family. That's my issue with Tony D. He even lost old boy from last week because he choked in his promo. They got rid of him. Tony D offered him a taste, but that taste was not good enough for the emperor of NXT. I'm liking, they're sowing the seed. I see where this is going, guys. I'm predicting something. If I'm wrong, heck, I'll be wrong. I think it's going to lead to a one-on-one match between Tony D and the Emperor of Legado himself, Santos Escobar. And I think that's when the family debuts. The family. That's when Fabian Eichner debuts and another Italian person they have in a warehouse somewhere. You're Italian.
You're going to give you one of these.
Yes.
Gabagools.
It's Fabian. No, Fabian might have a new name. He might be Fabiano or something like that. We're meant to forget he was part of a team that we no longer know. So get ready to get angry. And Fabian may grow hair as well. Who knows? Giving him 2 weeks to grow some stubble.
Fabian Soprano or Fabian Eichner doesn't sound as Italian as D'Angelo.
Just Fabian then. Just Fabian.
Fabiano. He got the Fabiano
and some other guy that's ethnically ambiguous that can pass for Italian.
We just got to do inarticulate Italian noses. Oh, Tony, oh.
We got some Mochachats. A little bada bing, bada boom.
Hey, we're nearly done. So we'll save those for the end here. So send in your Mochachats.
We are wisecracker.
I oughta.
I ought to scratch my back. That's all I ought to do.
Keep sending in those Mochachats. Remember, WrestleTalk.com/support. It helps us out so much, and we love to hear from all of you because Mocha 2.0 is interactive, and we love to hear your comments in the live chat as well as with the Mochachats. Someone put Fabian Soprano. Yes, absolutely. Corey Jade makes her entrance for her first appearance since Stand and Deliver. Cora J says WrestleMania weekend was the biggest of her career and talks about her parents being there to watch her. She says she couldn't get them front row tickets. She getting like 50,000 a year. She ain't even getting the 80,000 that Bron Breuker is. She can't get a clearance front row seats. Damn. Cora says she held her she she held herself against 3 top stars at Stand and Deliver. Cora says that her goal remains the same. She will become the NXT Women's Champion. She will bust her butt every single day. She wants to be like her heroes, AJ Lee, Sasha Banks, and Natalya. And here it hits the music of Natalya, and my lord, I have never heard Natalya get a pop like this. I can't even say, it's not like even Dolph Ziggler, where it was like, I haven't heard a pop like this for Dolph Ziggler in years. I've never heard a pop like this for Natalya. Literally, I think it was like the closest thing is when she won the Divas Championship from like Cole back in like 2010. So it's been over a decade since she got anything even close to this pop. What did you think?
You're rude. You're rude. You're so rude. Put some respect on the boat's name, ladies and gentlemen. Put some respect, because Natalya is all reliable. The way I see it is NXT 2.0 is treated like a university. You had Professor Ziggler visit for a few months. Now Professor Natalya visiting for the first time since 2014. Why? Because the women's division is depleted. Some of these women are newbies, and Natalya's here to stretch them out to see which one's ready for the main roster.
We'll talk about when she went through the backstage area. I was literally like, who are these people? Who are these people in the women's locker room? I was so confused. But Natalya comes out. The SmackDown star interrupts Cora Jade. She gets a huge pop. Cora Jade nervously says hi to Natalya. People are stunned. They're saying like, holy shit trance. Cora Jade then acts like a mark and says that it's surreal to be in the ring with Natalya. She talks about being at an event where she messaged her on Twitter, and Natty says she remembers messaging her after her NXT 2.0 debut and remembers that message from 2011 and gets emotional about inspiring her. She appreciates Cora's passion for this, and Natty says she has mentored, trained, and competed with some of the greatest female stars in WWE history. She says that Jade is the future of the NXT Women's Division, but says the future is bleak, slaps the crap out of Cora Jade, and then locks on the sharpshooter in Louis Vuitton boots. Like, come on, let's put some respect on Natty's name. She put the sharpshooter on in Louisville high heels. Like, that had to hurt her to do that.
SB, Natalya was given the ball. She ran with it. Not that she ran with it. People can say, where has this Natalya been on the main roster? She wasn't talking about Uncle Brett. She wasn't saying you were my best friend to every new women that she feuds with. Cora Jade wasn't her best friend there. She's like, what did the fingers say to the face? Slap. That's what she did, and she put in a sharpshooter. I'm happy that Natalya, by being in NXT, by appearing like a big deal, she is a big deal to the women's locker room. People may sour on the fact that she never left WWE. She's like part of the furniture, but she's reliable. She's consistent. She's thicker than a bar of soap. And, you know, she's going to do great. She's going to help Cora Jade, because SP3's been complaining that Cora Jade's performance in the ring has not been on par to be women's champion. Hence why she didn't win it. No.
I was talking about her skateboarding. And notice she did not come out with a skateboard, ladies and gentlemen.
My notes. Those are my notes. You and I, we think alike. We see the same thing. We see gears. We see no skateboards. We see the littlest minutia, and we put in our notes. But yeah, I'm ready for this. Natalya's not doing much. She's in this nothing tag team with Shayna Baszler, so she might as well take a vacation for a few weeks. Be a big deal, a big fish in a small pond, if you will.
I mean, this helped her out. This felt like the biggest that Natalya felt like a star for, like I said, the first time in over a decade since she first won the Divas Championship over Lay Cool. I haven't heard a pop like that in literally years. It's been years since you heard a pop like that for Natalya.
She's also the Big Show though. Like, she cries and turns on a whim.
She did get emotional and everything.
That wasn't kayfabe. You can tell that I don't get this sort of reaction. I'm gonna take this in, and it's great. She deserves it, because unlike most people, I'm not a Natty hater. She's always been one of my favorites. I think booking has been a detriment to her run. I feel like she has everything it takes to be a great heel. Face, she doesn't work. No hearts besides Brett works as a baby face. She's one of them. She's better than an obnoxious heel. Talk about her cats.
She was good 10 years ago as a heel, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. And she had a different music as well. Yeah, baby. Moving on swiftly.
But I'm interested in this feud here, and I will say Cora Jade came off a lot like a more like punk rock version of Bailey's old fangirl character from the older days of NXT when Bailey would be so excited to meet someone like Dusty Rhodes backstage. That's how Cora Jade came off when she met Natalya.
Cora said she was 8 at some point. I'm like, Cora, stop making us old, all right? I'm
Yo,
32
for
years old.
real.
I'm 32. I've been watching wrestling for 30 years. I was the age of 2 when I started watching wrestling. You're making me feel old. You can tell she's a diva stan. I grew up doing like Jacqueline Sable era. That's when I was 8. You're talking about AJ Lee. You know, she didn't mention Michelle McCool, but that's who was there. That was the Charlotte. That was the pre-Charlotte. That was the prototype back in them days. Mickey James, you know, she's a diva stan. That butterfly belt or that tramp stamp for a title.
Man, when I was 8 years old, the only woman in WWE was Marlena, Sable, and Sunny, and they were having a bikini blast off at SummerSlam 1996.
You can blast me off.
Moving on swiftly, we got Brooks Jensen and Jensen and Josh Briggs are here with Fallon Henley, and they're hyped for tonight's Gauntlet, and they are gonna knock some teeth out, they say. And then we get a hype vignette for NXT UK's own Nathan Frazier, who is the artist formerly known as Ben Carter, and he's coming to NXT 2.0. What do you think about Nathan Frazier? Have you seen him in NXT UK or his previous stints? He made appearances in All Elite Wrestling before signing with WWE. What do you think about him?
I'm gonna break kayfabe, guys. I'm a huge fan of Ben Carter's work on AEW Dark. Yeah, I've seen some of his stuff on NXT UK. He is a student of Seth Rollins, and he's really good in the ring, guys. He's someone you need in a division. Heck, he could be someone that could have teamed up with Wesley to defend the tag team titles. Heck, A-Kid could have defended the tag team titles with Wesley. There could have been many different ways they could have done it, but it would have drawn the attention to Redacted. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. People are complaining that Nathan Fraser went to NXT UK. Ha 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 ha. Is a step down from being on YouTube.
I mean, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I saw a comment that I really agreed with on Twitter. It's crazy the amount of buzz he created in a random AEW dark match against Lee Johnson compared to him versing Gunther, aka Walter, when he was Walter for the NXT UK Championship, and that didn't get half the buzz that the match with Lee Johnson got on AEW Dark.
Such is life, guys.
I hope he has a better stay in NXT 2.0 than what we've seen from A-Kid so far, to be fair. That's all I thought about when I saw this vignette. I was like, the last vignette we saw from NXT UK talent coming to NXT 2.0 was A-Kid, and that hasn't worked out well because I still haven't seen that man's entrance yet.
His entrance music is garbage.
Indeed. We had next Draco Anthony versus Xyon Quinn. We got I said here in my notes, we got the No Limit Soldier versus Samoan Mortal Kombat character. Quinn yeets Draco a few times and hits a swinging Samoan drop. Anthony gets the advantage and mocks the Samoan ritual dance. I know Tempest was talking about how he basically have a baby face making a racial remark about his opponent. So I don't understand how Draco is a babyface after this. But Xyon follows. He gets pissed. He starts hitting his running forearm on Draco. Then he hits a straight forearm to the face, and then finally he finishes him off with another running forearm for the win. This match was just there though. Like if I would have missed it, I don't think I would have missed much.
So I feel like Xyon Quinn's backstory on why he's wearing jeans to the ring, I think his biker shorts got lost because usually he wears them little skimpy biker shorts to the ring, but Xyon wasn't wearing that. And also, Xyon Quinn doesn't have a defining character. He does a silver towel, and then he does the flying burrito like Tito Santana to win matches, making his finisher move to the 80s. One of my favorite things is Xyon comes out and he goes, "Let's go, come on." And he slaps a fan's hand. I was like, such a baby face from the 80s. Love it. Not. You know what? Xyon's got potential. He just needs a character overhaul. They need to discover who he really is. Draco Anthony showing heelish traits in the match was the most entertaining he's been since he debuted. Since they balked at debuting him as a former gangbanger. Remember those vignettes, guys? Draco Anthony was coming. He was a former gangbanger or something, and then the vignette disappeared after 1 or 2 showing, and then
He,
it debuted randomly.
he was supposed to be like a former gangbanger who went into like the military and changed his life and stuff, and then he
Hence the
just debuted.
Draco name. And then they got, Michael Hickenbottom must have did some sort of litmus test, and feedback from the focus group was like, it's too racial, let's move away from that. I'm hoping that this is indeed the next thread of storyline, that Draco's joining Joe Gacy's group. Because to be a cult leader, you need more than one member, and a certain member wasn't there. Where's Harland? Where is Harland?
Harland probably doesn't like bonfires, so that's why he skipped this week.
There you go. But the super twisted Samoan drop, I think that's what Von Wagner was trying to do in his mind.
I was like, this is really similar to what Von Wagner tries to do.
But better.
Well, he's actually Samoan. I always get offended whenever someone that's not Samoan uses a Samoan drop. It shouldn't be a Samoan drop.
Tatanka made his finisher. Tatanka made it a thing.
It shouldn't be the Samoan drop.
No,
I think that was called like the tomahawk or something like that, wasn't it?
Listen, it's a fireman's carry slam or fireman's carry drop.
Yeah, call it that. Call it that when it's not a Samoan.
No,
but
it's a Samoan drop.
No,
it is to pay homage. Listen, there's a little boy right now watching wrestling, doesn't know what Samoan drop is, but he'll call it that. Why? It's homage.
No.
Zion.
No. That's why Bobby Eaton's leg drop off the top rope is not a leg drop off the top rope. It's a Tennessee jam because he's from Tennessee. If you're Samoan, then you should do the Samoan drop. If you're not Samoan, it's a fireman carry drop. But that's
so this is a promo to tell Xyon Quinn, you need to do the Samoan drop as a finisher.
Exactly. No more running forearm. What Shawn Michaels started his comeback with should not be your finisher. Natalya is walking backstage. She walks through the women's locker room, I guess, and Tatum Paxley challenges her. And Natty then gives the entire women's division a warning and says that the boat is here in NXT 2.0. And then we got one last backstage segment, and it's Index and Dusha are backstage watching last week's match. Persia and Indy suggest that Duke and Dexter team up with each other to go after the NXT Tag Team titles. They don't agree at first until their woman push it on them, and then they both agree. That's like my woman and Sat's woman just saying like, you guys just need to team up, Mocha 2.0, and we're just like, all right, cool.
All right, I have to say, you have to put some respect on this segment. This is a Mayor of Painesville Dan segment. Dan, I love you, brother. This is his segment. Duke Hudson, Dexter Lumis is a tag team. Duke Hudson, who's seen as like one of the early prospects when this new NXT 2.0 project started. Now look where his ceiling is. He's now in a comedy tag team. Dexter Lumis can make it work because he's Dexter Lumis. You know what I'm saying? Dexter Lumis has a ceiling that's much below than Duke Hudson. So he can make it work. Hence why he was the star of this segment. His eye, I love that he could communicate with his eyes and I know what he's thinking. The thumbs up, the facial expression. Exactly. What a segment. This was for Mayor of Painesville, Dan. Dan, I enjoyed the segment as well because I was right. I said this feud wasn't leading to a cage match. It wasn't leading to an I Quit match. It was leading to a new tag team.
Hey, I'm all for more tag teams, fleshing out this tag team division. So yeah, this is all fine and dandy for me. I don't know if this is going to lead to them winning the NXT tag team titles, but I also wouldn't be surprised with how this show is going.
No, it's going to lead to the four of them getting to bed and resolving some tension. And then after that, Duke will fail to perform and turn on Dexter because Dexter's got a better performance between.
Dexter going to pull out his condoms again. All the condoms that he had during his honeymoon with Indy. So yeah, he's going to bring it out. And he's going to have a good time. All right, so it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show. So we got to give a thumbs in the middle, thumbs up, or thumbs down. Let's put it here. You got to put the other one. There you go. We got to meet thumbs. We got to meet thumbs. So what do you give this week NXT 2.0? Do you not know how this works yet?
No, you can see it. My thumb's there. I declare thumb war.
So what do you think for this week's NXT 2.0 in 3, 2, 1? Yes, thumbs. I give it thumbs in the middle again. Thumbs in the middle.
Wiggling. I'm thumbs in the middle as well, man. I win. Stay down. Thumbs in the middle, man. I go thumbs in the middle. Yeah. Listen, it wasn't a bad show. The thing is with NXT 2.0, there may be wacky segments, nonsensical characters, but the one thing I could rely on, some great wrestling action. And we got it. The tag team division in NXT 2.0 is okay. It's okay. It's not great, but it's okay because you still got the grizzled young veterans. You've now got Dexter Loomis and Duke Hudson as a new tag team involved. You've got Harlan and maybe Draco when Draco sees the light or fire or whatever. That's going to be a thing. Tony D's got a team coming soon. I feel it in my bones.
Yeah, they're fleshing out the tag team division. That was like the whole bulk of like the final 30 minutes of this match. And like I said, I think they told a great story with the Creeds, establishing them as the baby faces of the division, while the Pretty Deadly are the top heels and new champions. I like the opener with Solo Sikoa and Cameron Grimes for the North American Championship. And yeah, I mean, the story-wise, Joe Gacy and Bron Breuker is, I don't understand how that's our main event angle, but I'm here for it because Joe Gacy promos give me a whole. I have to write down word for word his promos every
Why?
single week. So you can expect more of my Joe Gacy.
Oily won't pay you extra for this, you know. You don't have to do this. You just don't have to do it. Please don't do it. Please.
My Joe Gacy impressions every single week here on Mocha 2.0, the NXT 2.0 review on the WrestleTalk Podcast YouTube channel. But Seth, we got some Mochachats in the chamber. Let's hear from the people.
We got Perseus M donated $6. Perseus said, I don't watch NXT, but listening to you guys review it feels like it would make a great animated show. Thank you, Perseus. It would. We would act the heck out. I'll be me, my hammy acting. I would just ham it up. Next one is Kevin, donated $5. I don't know which impression was the best. SP3s of Joe Gacy or Sats of me trying to watch this clip on YouTube. Yes, Kevin.
Great Mocha chat. Great Mocha chat there. Thank you.
Nate S donated $5. He went to dunk.
Don't drop that dunk to dunk. Don't drop that dunk to dunk. Don't drop that dunk to dunk.
Okay, and we got a miscellaneous one. We got Card Marks Podcast, donated $6. You guys are the coolest. Glad I get more of Sat and SP3 on the channel. As a budding creator, what advice do you have about getting interviews? I also paid $6 to get Sat to say, follow at Card Marks Pod on Twitter. I say it again for free. Follow at Card Marks Pod on Twitter. There you go, mate. Card Marks Podcast. You can't ask me. I'm like a Roman Reigns. I stepped out of NFL and got a developmental deal quickly, Wrestling Daily. I did not suffer like this man who grinded. SB, tell him, because you're the one who grinded. I'm legit the Von Wagner who just comes out of nowhere.
I'm Kyle O'Reilly and you're Von Wagner.
I'm Bron Breuker. I'm one of those guys like, look at him. He can talk. He's got arms. Hired. Yeah.
As far as getting interviews, you just gotta put in the work for it, whether it's hitting them up on their Twitter in the DMs, or finding out their emails, because a lot of wrestlers, a lot of personalities, they have like their emails in their Twitter bios. So hitting them up with emails, it might take 1, 2, 3, or 4 emails sometimes to get the person's attention, but it's all about putting in the grind and putting in the work to get those interviews. Like a lot of my interviews just came from just messaging, leave them one message, then a week later leave them another message, drop them the link for your channel. It's all about just putting in that work and just going out there and putting yourself out there. That's the best way to kind of get the interviews. That seems to work for me, but I haven't done an interview in like a couple of months. So to be fair, it's going to take it takes
couple of months. I'm sorry. Did you not have on Renee Paquette You forgetting
Well,
already?
that wasn't my get. That was my boy Rick Ucchino on the Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast. We have Renee Paquette on our WrestleMania prediction show. I was honored to be on there with Renee Paquette, the GOAT host, and I told her that, as well as I pissed her off because I was rooting for AJ Gray over John Moxley during WrestleMania weekend. But that's
Gotta
what
keep
I'm
it
all
real.
about.
Gotta keep it
That's
real.
I gotta keep it real. Gotta go for my boy AJ Gray. Anything else said?
No, that's it in the chat. But going back to what Nate S said, Tatanka dunk. Yeah, Tatanka had a dunk. Yeah, you're right. He's yes, Tatanka dunk. He was thick. He was a thick 240 pounder. He really was.
Oh my god.
Them thighs, man. When he started stomping on the floor, them thighs were jiggling, weren't they?
That is all for this edition of the Mocha 2.0 WrestleTalk Podcast NXT 2.0 review. We want to thank everyone who joined us live, whether it's in the live chat, whether it's with the Mocha chat. If you haven't already, drop a thumbs up on the video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you are new to the WrestleTalk Podcast YouTube channel. We will be back here next Wednesday, 7 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. Eastern time in the US. Of course, you could see us. You can see another podcast here on the WrestleTalk Podcast YouTube channel tomorrow with Ali and Luke reviewing AEW Dynamite. You got the Friday magazine show. You also got Tempest and Pete, the LIW boys, on Saturday reviewing SmackDown and AEW Rampage. So it is so much to enjoy here on the WrestleTalk Podcast YouTube channel. So for Sat E, Mommy Niangi's,
I got something to say. I just noticed something, by the way. On the guys, mods on our YouTube channel, SP3 and Sat hasn't been added to the NXT. It's still, the LIW guys.
He wants to see our faces.
Yes, I'll give you a nice picture of me. My guns look strong. Like it's a gun show in here. But yeah, I'm Sat E, Niangi, mobbing with Supreme Professional Third. This is NXT Review Show. Au revoir, amigos. See you next week.
We're running out of time.